Miriam come up. Apparently, I've got to do a bit of work to start with for them. Okay.
I'm very excited that today the reading was all about a race. Yes. Because I actually quite like running. I go running most weeks. And not that I like to boast, but the last few years, the dad's race at my kids' school, guess who came first place?
Would it be you?
Yeah, it would be me. So I thought what I'd do this morning is challenge you to a race, Miriam.
Okay,
that sounds...
sure about that?
Yeah, I'm up for it. Should be fairly straightforward.
Okay, let's give it a go.
Yeah, okay. Well, how about we start over here somewhere, and we go round the back, out, back through, and then the finish line is up where you're standing here. Is that all right? And you can decide who's the winner.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yes.
Hang on, I've just got... Oh, mustn't go near that speaker. I just got to get myself ready. Hang on just a second. Because it might be cold or something like that, mightn't it? Hang on. All right. Hang on. Right. This is going to be a walk in the park. Easy, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. I'll turn this off for a second.
Okay. You ready? On your marks, get set, go. Okay. I think Miriam won. Yes, she did. So hang on a sec. Hang on. I've just got to present Miriam with the gold medal.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. Congratulations, Miriam.
Oh, I don't know what went wrong there. You know, I thought I'm sure I was going to win that, but I don't know. Maybe we should do a rematch later. What do you think?
Yeah, better luck next time. Anyway, in today's passage that you just heard, Paul talks about a race. He uses a running race to show us what life can be like. We might think of it more like a marathon, though. Let's be honest, life can feel very long at times, can't it? But he's not mainly trying to say that it's a competition, like it just was between Ashley and I. He's telling us that, like a race, we need to focus on the finish line and think about the end goal that we're aiming for. So we have to fix our eyes on the prize. So we're going to get you all to stand up together now. And let's try that, shall we? We're going to go. Fix your eyes on the prize. Should we try that together?
Fix your eyes on the prize.
Again. Fix your eyes on the prize. Very good. Take a seat.
Not bad, not bad. Now, I wonder, what are some of the things that you're aiming for in life? If you think of the finishing line as your goal in life, well, I might borrow that microphone for a second, if that's all right. What are some of the things you're aiming for? What are some of your big goals in life? We've got some back here. Here we go. Let's see. What are you aiming for? Do you want...
At football, my coach says I need to improve when I'm goalie.
Okay, so that's a good goal, to improve in football. Yep.
Pass university.
Oh, that's looking ahead to do well at university.
Get £1 million.
All right. Already focusing on the money.
To improve how you act.
Okay, thinking about how we act and live, behave. Got some more here. Oh, got quite a few here.
To get a dream job.
Dream job.
To be a better cheerleader.
Oh, cheerleading. That's a good hobby.
To be a YouTuber.
Oh, there we go. Career as a YouTuber.
Wow. Well, it's helpful, isn't it? It's helpful to have goals in life. It's a good thing. It gives us something to work towards, something to aim for. But Paul has a particular goal in mind. The rest is his life, and his goal is to keep going to the very end. He wants to live faithfully for God, and he's going to enjoy the prize of heaven at the end. That's his goal. For him, this prize there is, because it lasts forever, unlike some of the other goals that he had. So for Christians, as we go through life, we need to keep on remembering where we're heading. And Paul tells us to, can you remember? Fix our eyes on the prize. Well done.
Now, fixing our eyes on the prize helps us in a few ways. The first one is, well, it helps us to get ready. Because if I was to run the London Marathon and I took, well, some people do wear big costumes, don't they? But if I was there trying to run with my woolly hat and my coat on and my bags and running with a suitcase, well, I'm making it a lot harder, aren't I? I'm never going to win like that, never going to come first place. In fact, it'd be hard to finish at all, as I proved in that running race against Miriam there. And Paul uses that to try and remind us about what we need to do to run our race of life, the Christian life. Look at verse 1 there of our reading. He said, therefore, since we're surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us throw off everything and the sin that so easily entangles. To throw things off, that's like when I took this coat off, I didn't want that on anymore. I didn't want my hat and all these things that were slowing me down. In life, though, there can be things that we're carrying that slow us down. Maybe the weight of not feeling good enough. We think God could never love me, and it slows us down. It weighs heavy on us. Or the guilt of things that we feel we've done wrong, and we can't quite let it go. We still feel the shame and the guilt of something we did wrong. Maybe a relationship that's broken down and you feel it hasn't been fixed and it's still weighing on you. You're still dragging it along behind you. Maybe it's something like that and you think God could never forgive me. But Jesus tells us that when we follow him, when we trust in him, he takes all these things, he takes the weight of our sin and our shame, he takes it away. So we're not dragging it around anymore. We're not carrying it on our own. Jesus has taken it so that we can be free, no longer entangled by sin, but we can run the race without all of that. We can get ourselves ready to run the race. And you know, sometimes actually it's helpful to have that crowd cheering us on, isn't it? As we're running, maybe our supporters saying, keep on going. And in there, he talked about the cloud of witnesses, people that have gone before us, who are great examples, but also I think one another in life. We can cheer each other on and help each other to do that. We can say, remind each other that God loves us. We can challenge each other to leave sin behind so that it's not tangling us up anymore.
Well, runners are often taught in their training to focus on the finish line and just imagine that moment when they finally make it to the end. And that helps us when we think about the prize and the end to stay focused and not get distracted along the way, doesn't it? Imagine a runner on a marathon, a bit like Ashley today, getting distracted. Oh, that coffee looks nice over there. Maybe I'll get a croissant with it. And oh, I haven't seen that friend in ages who lives over here. Maybe I'll just stop there for a moment. And actually, there's a beach over there. Maybe I'll stop there and enjoy the beach. Well, if you ran like that, you'd never win, would you? You wouldn't get to the end. No runner would do that. They're in it to win it. Running a race isn't about just doing the first little bit and then thinking, great, that was a good start. I think that'll do. Let's end there. We want to make it to the very end. Well, sometimes we might think that the stories from the Bible, they're just for little children. And now we're older, we don't need to go to church anymore. And we're not even sure if we believe it. And in life, we can easily get distracted, can't we, from living for Jesus? We can get drawn by these things over here. They look so fun. And we're busy over here doing all the things that just have to be done. And before we realize it, we're running down a very different path to the one that we initially had as our goal. The Christian life is about making it to the end. Well, the next part of our reading says, and let us run with perseverance. This is into verse 2. The race marked out for us, fixing our eyes on Jesus, the pioneer and perfecter of faith. So what do we need to do together? Let's say it.
Fix our eyes on the prize.
Well done. That means thinking about Jesus, reminding ourselves what he's done for us, his great love for us, by reading about him in the Bible. That's a really important part of this race. It helps us to keep running all the way to the end. And actually, it helps us to remember why we started running in the first place. This was here, perseverance, back in verse 1. It means to not give up. So being a Christian isn't about just praying a prayer one time and then saying, okay, that was good, that was a good start, and then I just forget about it now. Or maybe being baptized and then moving on and just being busy with other things. A race that lasts the whole of your life to the very end. It's hard. It is a challenge, but I believe it's the best way to live. He ran the race perfectly. He won a great victory for us, didn't he, on the cross? So we can look to Jesus and we can remember all that he's done for us. That helps us to focus, and we need to focus on this race. There's nothing better than knowing Jesus and living for him. So another thing we can do as we keep running this race is to keep reading the Bible, because that helps us to keep looking at Jesus.
Great. So keeping our eyes on the prize helps us to get ourselves ready. It helps us to stay focused. Lastly, it helps us to keep on going, even when things are hard. Because I don't know if you've done some running or sports, it can be difficult. Start getting a stitch halfway around, you think, oh, this really hurts. I don't want to finish this now. Or maybe you trip up and you cut your knee. Quite a shock as an adult when you fall over because you haven't done it for a long time. And you're, oh, that really hurts. And at those points, you think, oh, that's it. I'm just going back home. I'm just going to get on the bus and not finish this run. But you can't do that in life. You've got to keep on going. And there are moments, I think, sometimes people at school or people around on the TV and stuff, they tell you, just look within, find the strength in you. You can do it. Believe in yourself. But if we're honest, there's moments for all of us when we haven't got anything left inside to give. And when we look inside, all we feel is, well, maybe disappointment or emptiness. But the Bible doesn't say, just look within, you'll find the strength to do it. It says, keep your eyes on the prize. Look upwards to Jesus. He will give you the strength to do it. Look at the last bit of our reading, verse 3. It says, consider him, talking about Jesus, who endured such opposition from sinners so that you will not grow weary and lose heart. See, when things are difficult, when things are hard, well, you can think of Jesus, because if anyone had it hard, it was Jesus. He had done nothing wrong, and yet, as we remember, particularly at Easter, he was beaten, he was accused of things he hadn't done, laughed at, spat on, and nailed to a cross and left to die. If anyone knows what it means to feel abandoned and hurt and alone, well, Jesus knows what it feels like. And yet that passage there, it says he endured. He kept going. He pushed on through. He made it, and he came out victorious, rising from the dead on the other side. And so as we look to him, we go, well, he knows what it's like. He's run this race before us, and he is with us every step of the way. As we look to Jesus, he helps us to keep on going, even when things are hard, even when we think we want to give up, because we know we have someone who loves us, someone who is powerful, who cares for us right by our side. We can think of Jesus and his great love for us.
So as we finish, I want to ask you, what are you aiming for? Not just your short-term goals. What do you really want your whole life to be about? you're old and grey, what do you want to have done with your life? What do I want to have done with my life? It's an important question, isn't it? So let's think about that for a moment. Where are you heading? Let's take a moment to reflect, and then I'll pray. Heavenly Father, thank you for this passage from the Bible that teaches us that life is a bit like a race. Help us to start well, but not just to start well, to endure to the end, to keep on going all the way to the finish line, knowing that we will receive the greatest prize of all, living with you forever in heaven. Help us not to get distracted by all the other things going on around us. There's so much fun to be had. There's so much to be doing, but help us to stay focused on running the race for you, with each other, not on our own. Thank you for church, where we can be encouraged by each other to keep running. Thank you for the Bible, your word, which reminds us why we started running in the first place. Help us to keep going and help each one of us to get to the very end, to get to the finish line,